Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a look at the strangest, oddest and weirdest powers present in the Overlord world. But before we are going to do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. And with that out of the way, let's go to the first weird power. And as the first pick I have chosen a certain part of Yuri Alpha, because she is literally able to act headless, or to give head. Seriously though, since Yuri Alpha is a Dullahan, a famous headless undead from Irish mythology, she is not so much able to detach her head from her body, but being headless is, quite literally, her default for existing in this world. And the only reason for why we don't see Yuri Alpha decapitated all of the time is the small choker she wears as part of her Battlemate uniform. While meek in appearance, it is made up of the same high-tier material every other piece of the Battlemate's uniform consists of, thus giving the otherwise thin piece of cloth unnatural strength, resilience and force, thus allowing Yuri Alpha to keep her head safely on her shoulders, even in the midst of battle. Second on my list is something that might likely feel odd and out of place in a high-tier fantasy world loosely based on Dungeons and Dragons: the existence of modern or hyper-modern guns and Gundams. Officially called the suit of armament, it is a piece of equipment that had been introduced together with modern guns and even automatons to rekindle the once burning interest the public had in playing Yggdrasil online, and the suit of armament was meant to reinforce low-tier players and give them access to very powerful spells for their level, such as Chain Dragon Lightning, which allowed Ainz Ooal to kill off dozens of Death Knights, enemies that would have otherwise been impossible for him to beat. Intended to draw in players from other popular DMMORPGs, like the mecha piloting game Aberrage, as part of the expansion Fall of Valkyria, it nonetheless ultimately failed to draw in new players for Yggdrasil Online, as the game slowly faded into obscurity. Also, Shizu Delta, or to be more precise, her character build option, that of the automaton, had been introduced during this expansion as well. And while Yggdrasil Online is no more, these powerful items and NPCs that made it into the new world are still able to use these modern equipments. And the third place we find the odd ability to understand each other, whether it is done via some innate and ancient magic in the new world, by the power of the Dragon Lords, or done by a world item, for some reason people, while still capable of speaking their very own language, will also have any foreign or unknown languages automatically translated for them, to the greatest degree possible. This goes even so far that non-human species, such as lizardmen, and even highly intelligent, or at least magical animals, such as Hamuske, are able to understand foreign languages such as Japanese, while also in turn being able to be understood by a Japanese-speaking player and his entire guild. At the fourth place of our list, I chose the oftentimes overlooked but quite convenient existence of pocket dimensions. I already told you about Solution Epsilon's expandable interiors, but her intra-body dimension is far from the only extra dimension in existence. So-called item boxes, for example, allow players and NPCs to store items in a parallel dimension. Once stored inside of these pocket dimensions, items were also unable to be detected via the use of even high-tier divination magic, which also poses one of the greatest risk factors for the safety of the Great Tomb of Nezarec, since it isn't clear how many powerful artifacts, scrolls and summoning items the 6 players who founded the Slain Theocracy had left in their possession once they parted this world, or if Slain has access to them. But we know that Rufus, the first servant of Zurshana, is likely an NPC, and even NPCs have item boxes of their very own. This also leaves the possibility of great discoveries, since likely players such as the dragon-slaying Goblin King, or the hero soaring on his wings through the sky, also likely brought a wealth of powerful items with them, waiting for their discovery. And the last part of the first part will be the complete lack of air resistance in the world, meaning spells like fly or any way of propelling oneself through the air would likely allow anyone to reach extreme speeds, akin to traveling through a vacuum tube. This also implies that this world either had no air resistance to begin with, or that air resistance is something someone got rid of, which might have been a player that just wanted to accelerate travel through the air and thus used a world item, or at least a wish spell to get rid of the air resistance, or if the Dragon Lords decided to eliminate it via world magic. It really shows that magic is the dominant force in this world and can easily overpower our own laws of physics. Oddly enough, the missing air resistance does not impact the ability of creatures to fly, as seen on the cover of Volume 6. And with that said, I will end this video. If things go well, I will be able to release the second part somewhere around the end of this week, so stay tuned. Furthermore, I thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bedgar Yee, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia II, Theral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Haster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Michael R, Michael Y, Okill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, the Orc Warboss Rak Etzmeshar, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.